University, University of Washington, there were only 35 black students out there, but along with Larry Gossett and others, we formed the first Black Student Union. The Black Student Union was a good experience, but it just didn't seem to quench what we were looking for. We had the demonstration at Franklin High School while we were in the BSU, and it slowed the school down. A couple of weeks later, we were arrested and went to King County Jail. And that's when Martin Luther King was assassinated. And we got out, we went to the Black Student Union Conference in Oakland, California.
Brother and I had heard about the party. We had copies of the Panther newspaper, and we had, kind of made inquiries, and we wondered, like, who were these dudes with, guns and wearing leather jackets and berets? And so we decided we were going to find out by attending Bobby Hutton's funeral.
We met Bobby Seale. That's when the Black Panther Party was born in Seattle. I was only 19 years old when I was given the title as captain.
The Black Panther Party first initially started when we met with Bobby Seale when he first came to Seattle. There were a handful of women that were there. They were just as enthusiastic and just as intent on starting the Black Panther Party and forming something just as much as the men were. The fact that Martin Luther King had been assassinated, I think, for me and for many, many other, not only black people across the country, but other young people across the country, it was a signal to us that it was that no longer did we feel that peaceful demonstrations was going to work, that we were now going to look towards other methods of demonstrating and getting our point across. We felt like we were in a war. We felt like we were in a military. We felt that we were in an army. The Black Panther Party was very much a paramilitary organization.
Starting a family and buying a house, and we never had any dreams or visions like that. We were revolutionaries who were going to die in the revolution. That first year, that first summer, patrolling the police was an interesting proposition. There was a constant kind of a battle of intimidation going on between the police and the party. There were dangerous times, but they were exciting times.
In a very short period of time, it became a war between the Seattle Black Panther Party and Seattle Police Department. And that really began when they raided our office and arrested myself and Curtis Harris and charged me with stealing a typewriter. The arrest led to a large demonstration at Garfield Park, and those people marched down to the city jail, and then they came back to Garfield, and a riot interrupted. And it was the first riot in Seattle, and that began for us a drive for us to stomp out all the racist institutions in our community.
If we did things that were sort of questionable in the eyes of the law, I think it's important to remember that it was always, what we did was always a reaction to something that the police did or the administration did of a school or a company or something. It wasn't like a lot of people think that we just went out there and just kind of randomly went out there and started shooting at people and shooting at cops.
We supported them because they knew they were no criminals. It's legitimate. They had a legitimate reason to do what they did.
Black Panther Party members had to read twice a day, 2 hours a day. We were given a book list of books that we had to read. Study studied a lot of different things. So we learned how to really think. We learned how to analyze. We learned how to make a concrete analysis of concrete conditions and create programs that will deal with those concrete conditions. We started the free breakfast programs because, you know, we realized we couldn't go on trying to battle the police, and we couldn't go on doing the fire bombings. We had to do more things in our community.
We wanted to be like a beacon. We wanted to be like a source in the community where people know they can come to us and trust us. We began to use our creativity to establish more survival programs. We came from the breakfast program, then we had the free busing in prison program, then we had the free pest control program.
We opened up our first free medical clinic in 1969. We recognized that there was a problem with medical care. People did not have access to medical care. So we got doctors, we got nurses, we got medical equipment, and we opened up our free medical clinics. We also organized the first preventative medical care. You know, when we started our sickle cell anemia program, it began testing people for sickle cell anemia. Opened up our free legal aid program as well, which is still in existence today because the city of Seattle took it over.
I still have people come up to me today, grown folks with families, and say, we thank you, you know, like that, for being where you were today, for being where you were because you were there for us. Even up to the breakfast program, to the summer youth employment program, and they say some of the principles that you taught me still hold me together today.
I had been working with the free breakfast programs and just loving it and appreciating that the Black Panthers cared so much. So they weren't just a black leather jacket, beret, stomping, gun-toting party. They cared about the community. I believe that women joined the Black Panther Party because of the survival programs. More so because we're willing to do the work, we're willing to help our folks, our kids, and we want everyone's lives to be better. So we join and we do the work. But surprisingly, we weren't pushed into the kitchen to cook, clean, polish, none of that stuff. Women did the cooking, men did the cooking. Men did the cleaning, women did the cleaning.
Being in the Black Panther Party was very intense, and you worked a lot. But the good part about it is you were with a lot of people that felt and thought the same thing that you felt. You know, we had this unity of will, and not only did they feel and think the same way that you thought, but they were always looked out for you. One big giant family, you know, that was extended not only all across the country, but all across the world.
Working in the party, we used to put in maybe 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day. And I just want to tell you right now, this was the happiest days of my life. You know, because I know I was doing something positive, we were going forward, change was happening. And if you want to call me a revolutionary, that's fine.
I believe that at the very core of my being, that the early influence of the Black Panthers made a difference on how I show up, how I speak up, and how I stand up. Understanding why it's important to exercise your rights, why it's important to stand up, why it's important to show up and speak up. All that was training that I got from the Black Panthers.
It's impressive to look back and see what these guys actually did and what they were capable of doing and pulling together, and sacrifices they made, you know, and willing to be persecuted and willing to, you know, put themselves up where, you know, they were being put in jail.